So guys, out in nature today with a little bit of fucking Pellegrino, and we're going to talk about the evolution of the Upwork description.
Look, I'm gonna tell you about my life.
Yo guys, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're in the garden today because I'm sick of shooting videos indoors, to be honest. I had like a couple people message me about it and they were like, go outside and be like more social. So I've picked a garden that has no one in it to be as less social as possible. But yeah, let's talk about the Upwork description, because look, at the end of the day, that's like the most important thing on your profile. Obviously the portfolio section is super important. These specialized profiles, all these new things that Upwork are bringing to the table in terms of client acquisition are very important, but the be all end all has always been the Upwork description. And there's been like a long evolution of, you know, the way that people used to market on Upwork and now how it works, and people starting to understand how it works and actually what the benefit and what the point of the website was originally, which is, you know, the convenience paradise, which is something that we talk about in the DNA of Upwork video. And again, if you haven't seen that, then, you know, there's not even really any point in you watching this video, because you're not going to get as much value from this video, because I'm going to make a lot of reference to these key principles, key mindsets, key philosophies essentially. But the convenience paradise, guys, this is so fucking important. Look, at the end of the day, the description is very important. So before we get into what's good, what's bad, and then I'm going to give you like an actual like method that I've practiced a lot with my students that works really, really well, and I actually keep it in the mentorship program. I'm going to give you that at the end. But before we get into any of that, what is the goal here? What is the goal of the profile in general? And then also, what is the goal of the description? So this is so important, guys. Let me lean in. The goal of the Upwork profile and the Upwork description is to get them to message you back. It's not to get them to close them. It's not to get them, you know, on a meeting. As of right now, it's to get them to message you back. I'm learning how to cook, you know. I can cook eggs, you know. Yeah. I can cook a bit of eggs, some bacon. Yeah. How is it living up there? What's the view like? Much better? All right, I actually have to shoot this though. I hate to be a pain. No worries. But nice to meet you. What was your name? Dave. Ryan. Nice to meet you, man. See ya. So why do you want them to message you back? Why is that so important? So think of it like this. I have a client called Megan, right? And originally she didn't turn up to a meeting. This is all the way back in like October, you know. I messaged her in like maybe just the like late September, October time, and she didn't turn up for a meeting essentially, and then she kept on missing the meeting, kept on missing the meetings, kept on missing the meetings, and then finally, like a month later, like on like October, like the fucking 28th or whatever, maybe I'll throw up like a screenshot, she messaged me back and she's like, look, you know, I'm ready to get going, you know. And in reality, they've been paying us $600 a month for literally what, 8-9 months, and we do 1 post a day for them. So you just want to message them back, because look, until you get them to message you back, you can't follow up, you know. You can't, like, once you send the proposal, if they never get back to you, you can never like re-follow up with that, you know. And that's a problem. Following up is like a big part of, you know, getting clients on Upwork. Remember, it comes from a convenience place. You know, a lot of the times they might not be checking it all the time. So if you can just be the person who's constantly getting back to them and messaging them and, look, oh, I got this piece of value, following up, you know, you have a very good chance of actually getting that client over the other people that kind of just send that one proposal and then that's it. So that's the goal of Upwork, you know. That's the goal of the whole thing really in general. In the mentorship program, I always say like the goal of applying to jobs in general is just to get them to message you back. It doesn't even really matter whether or not they even like your proposal. You want to cast your net wide, take as many leads in as possible, many messages back as possible, and then, you know, get people to book meetings where you see fit and if they're a good fit. But remember, the DNA of Upwork, you don't even really know whether or not a client is going to be big or whether it's going to be small. I literally have been on calls, you know, like the other day, like me and Corey, we were about to go to the gym. Corey's the guy who does all of the work. We were just about to go to the gym, and I was with a guy called Matt, and I remember, some of you guys might remember this from my Instagram story. I was like, I don't want to take this meeting, I just want to go gym, I don't have enough time, because I had back-to-back meetings, you know, like 7-8 meetings. And I was like, let me just quickly take this, you know, I'll jump on a phone call, 20 minutes, see what happens. $1,800 deal, you know, $1,000 bot funnel, and then you know, an $800 a month social media management for 1 post a day. So you never know. And again, their profile didn't really scream that they were a big client, you know. So this is something really important to keep in mind. So what are some things that you shouldn't do? Let's think about that. first of all, and most importantly, never go against the first commandment, convincing them that this is something that they need. Guys, remember, Upwork does not abide by these rules. They already know the value of social media. Right? They already know the value of social media. I even get my mentorship students to play a game, or I'll show them like lots of different profiles that have already been pre-selected, and I'll get them to tell me which ones will convert and which ones won't. Because what you'll realize is at a certain point, the majority of the people on Upwork, they're going against the first commandment of trying to convince them this is something that they need. So they'll be on their description, they'll be like, Facebook has 2.1 billion users, and Facebook ads can be super helpful for your social media management. You need to be active on social media. The problem is, they already know that. So then you're wasting time in that description box. The first couple things that you say, you need to fucking hook them in. And at the end of the day, why the fuck would you, educate them on something that they're already well educated on? Again, a lot of the time, because even though you're going to be working with the convenience paradise, these busy business owners, the rise of the busy business owners, if you've heard me say that in the DNA of Upwork video, although you are going to work with those people, how can I put this? At the end of the day, it's not that they're not well educated. A lot of these clients, they know about social media. They even know probably more about social media than I do. It's just that they want someone to take this off their hands because they're scaling, they're growing, and they don't have fucking time, basically. So never go against that first commandment. That's a really important point. Another thing, and this is kind of more of an abstract one, is don't shit on other freelancers. Does that make sense? Like, you'll see like a lot of people in their description, the first thing they'll say is like, not like these other whack freelancers, or like, you don't want to go with these, like, especially when it's like people in like a third world, like people can be like really mean on Upwork and they'll be like, these people are shit. And it's like, look, don't put that like negative energy across this straight away, because remember, the goal is to cast your net wide. The goal is to get them to message you back, and the only way you're going to get them, because some people might not resonate with that, right? Some people might not resonate with it, so it's better to cast your net wide and happy. I can help anyone. I can help anyone is a good question to ask in terms of what your description should look like, and then not shit on other people. Because you want to cast your net wide, you want to bring as much people as possible, and that negative energy might turn a lot of people off. What's something else as well? Well, this is super important, making it chunky. And for the mentorship students, you know what the fuck I'm on about. I always go like, making it chunky. Like, I say that all the time throughout the mentorship program. The whole profile is supposed to be whoosh, fucking chunky as fuck, because when it's short, they haven't put a lot of effort in. The main thing I see with students who sign up is usually like, they'll send me their profile and I'll be like, it's literally just like, they've got like no education in there, no work experience, no other experiences, they've done no tests, and obviously we're just talking about the description, but just in general, the profile should be chunky, but the description itself should be chunky. And I'm gonna give you like a 3-step plan as to how to do it towards the end. But let's jump into some other reasons as to why it's bad. So guys, what's something else that you shouldn't do? And I'll try and tie these two together. Don't make the description and the profile about you. This is so important. Don't make it about you. Like I don't want to, take your fucking ego out of it. Go read like fucking Eckhart Tolle or whatever, Power of Now, and like take your fucking ego out of the equation here. Remember, the convenience paradise, they just want someone to take this off their hands. So please don't make it about you. This is something that I see is very common amongst, mentorship students when they first start out. You really want to stay away from that. And then a more important one, this is something that, not even for Upwork, but people can learn in general, is don't position yourself as someone who's starting out. I get the logic that like, I'm just going to go in and offer free work, and look, at the end of the day, you don't need to do that. You can kind of, bullshit your way to success like I did. It's not necessary. I know people say like, fake it till you make it doesn't work. A lot of these gurus say that. At the end of the day, man, I'm a very good example of someone who's faked it till they made it, or whatever. You see, like I'm a normal person. Like, you don't need to be special. So don't make it about yourself, but also don't position yourself as someone that's starting out. Tell them that you know what the fuck you're doing. Tell them that you've had other clients. Go in there. And I'm expecting your first client to be fucking shit. And I'll make a separate video about this, but like, I always tell people in the mentorship program, like, if your first client is like really, really good, then it's kind of weird, Like I almost expected it to go bad. And my first client went bad, and a lot of my students' first clients aren't great, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're figuring it the fuck out. So guys, let's kind of finalize on what you should be doing and the overarching principles of that. And then I'm going to give you a really good method as to how to do it, a really practical method that, to be honest, I really think might change the game a lot in the SMA community, because it's very practical, and I even use it in the mentorship program. I was a little bit hesitant to even give it out, but this works so fucking well. And yeah, so the convenience paradise, obviously, guys, that's the most important one. You want to you know, make the profile super convenient. You can do that with videos. You can do that, you know, with talking about like the emotional journey. Just in general, a good question to ask is to look at your profile and go, look, is this a convenient profile? If I was someone who wanted to hire me, would I look at that and go, look, this guy could take this off my hands and can make this really easy for me, easy, message the Mac, convenient, essentially, and then also making it very chunky, the profile, so that you don't look new, because that's one of the things that we don't want to do, like we just spoke about. We don't want to position ourselves as someone who's starting out. So making it chunky looks like you've put a lot of effort in. Also casting your net wide. I'm sure my fucking neighbors think I'm a weirdo, but casting your net wide, you know, bringing all of the leads in, bringing them to you, and then, you know, filtering them out. Because remember, the DNA of Upwork, you don't know who the fuck is actually going to be messaging you back. You don't know if a client's going to be $4,000 or if it's going to be $200, because you know, Upwork does a very poor job of that. And if you don't know what the fuck I'm on about, go and watch the fucking Upwork of the DNA of Upwork video. I can't even fucking say it anymore, but you get that point. And in general, those are some really good points as to what to do. But let me give you like a really practical advice, because I noticed that like a lot on YouTube, like people kind of talk about these like abstract kind of ideas, but nobody ever really gives you like a clear method that's been split tested with 40 plus students and myself as my own best case study. So let's get into that, and it's called the 3-section method. Let's jump in. So let's get into it. So section 1 is all about casting the net wide, and I call this the social proof section, essentially. So this is the part where you basically want to show them that you can help anyone, that you are, you know, convenient. More about that in the second section, but just more than anything, just showing that, like, look, you have the technical know how to do this. Like, I'm an expert freelancer in this particular field. I can help anyone. I've had clients ranging from lots of different niches in lots of different brands. You've casted your net wide now, right? Which then means you can move into the second section, which is how can I help you, the client, essentially. And I'll throw up like a, maybe I'll even like throw in like a little like a file or something, like a PDF that will make this a little bit easier for you guys to understand, because maybe, you know, sometimes when I feel like I'm trying to communicate, it can be difficult. But the second, you know, section essentially is all about like how can they help you. So this is where you want to talk about systems, onboarding, convenience, all of these different things, and making it super convenient for them, and they realize like, oh, this is something that this person can take them off their hands. They're already casting the net wide, so you've already grabbed everyone's attention. Then you're convenient, and then finally the testimonial section at the bottom. And this is in the, not like the testimonial section as in the work experience, but still inside of the description you want to write about some testimonials. And this has been one way that like a lot of my students have been able to get clients without having any like job reviews, you know, by talking about their testimonials in their description. And this works really well. So, you know, 4 to 5, and then breaking it down. You want it to be chunky. Each section you want it to be at least 2 paragraphs is a good way to look at it. You know, so you've casted your net wide, it's convenient, and then also those testimonials at the end, you know, if they're not real, just fucking make them up, you know what I mean? Like literally just, or you know, go and ask someone for a testimonial, for example, if you haven't had any clients yet. And this is a good place for your, you know, potential clients to look at and go, oh look, you just have testimonials, maybe he's just new to Upwork, maybe he was experienced outside of Upwork, which is what a lot of clients think. And in general, that will give you some structure to it. But you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna throw in a PDF as well to make this super easy for you, because you know, I don't know, I'm not that loose today, if I'm being honest, in terms of this video. I feel like you know, I need to get the fuck out of my head. I've got so many fucking meetings, but who cares? I'll go through the extra effort of making a PDF for you so you guys can watch it, and for the people that do want to see it, perfect. But yeah, good talking to you guys. I mean, to be honest, Instagram is popping right now. I'm doing like still like 100 stories a fucking week or whatever, so I would definitely urge you to go and check that out. But in general, I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, green on green. What do you guys think of this garden, by the way? Maybe I've never really given you like a little view of what it looks like, but it looks nice. That's my flat, like just behind this fucking bush. Is it that one? Yeah, it's the one behind the bush. But yeah, and just in general, these little things you can step on. Sometimes I come up here and it makes me feel like I'm in a tree, you know? Like climb. I don't know what the fuck I'm on about, but see you guys later.